good evening, and good evening. Welcome to, first, we want to say welcome to March. We are in the first, almost ending this first quarter, and we are here with Dr. Karen K's Self Care Corner here, bringing in IWD, International Women's Month. So I am excited about what's going to be happening, and we're going to have her come with us. You know, she brings in the wellness, she brings in about the culture, she brings in all the remedies that we need to be successful. So welcome, my sister. Welcome so much. Welcome to this
Thank you,
international mom. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that some new things is coming on the horizon for us at HPOC and HPOC OA and all of that type of stuff that's going on. The HPOC Holistic Professionals Association. I am just so happy is to see the great things that's ahead. And
I am too.
Thank you. Women is carrying women, and when we are women are carrying it forth. So what do you have planned for this month?
Aren't we always carrying it forward? Listen. I don't care what you've been told, but women have always run everything. Before feminist movement, before any of that, women have historically always been the foundation and the backbone of every culture, every community. So it should be a shock. It should never be a shock, or we should never look for permission to celebrate women, because that's just what it is.
It's just what it is. Yeah, right.
Is, you know,
it's just, it like to say, it is what it is.
What it is, girl. What it is, girl.
So coming to our first question, you know, it's so many great leaders, which are women from all various parts of the continent worldwide, have done so much, and they're especially with women of color. And there's so many people that I can heighten who's happened. You know, I'm going to give you your flowers. You have heightened my senses on culture, especially in my culture, to really dig deep. And I really experienced this last week away in the Dominican. I'm telling you, to get a part of the culture there was just fabulous. And to see a matriarch, to be in a person's home who raised 13 kids, all in this 2-room house, but 2 of the daughters are remnant staying there, bringing their husbands to agriculture, the cocoa farm and the coffee farm.
Okay. Legacy.
La Abula she was, and she even let me sit in her chair. She let this here sit in her chair. It was just so hospitable. Food was great. And this is what we're talking about, celebrating other cultures. Yeah. I will say to the audience, if you've never been anywhere, it's a whole lot of world out there to experience. And it's a lot just to get outside the box sometimes. And I feel that's my place.
It is. And it changes your worldview when you travel. It changes your worldview, but it also changes who you are, because so often we decide what the rest of the world is like based off of the end of this block to the end of the next block, because we stay in our own little communities. But when you travel, you get to really experience in real time other cultures, what they really think, how they really behave, because until you do that, you're at the mercy of what people tell you. You're at the mercy of books, and books are often written by the oppressor. You know what I mean? So you don't really have a true, authentic understanding of other cultures until you travel. So everybody should travel.
Everybody should. One thing I always say, I'm glad that my parents, even though I was adopted in the family, but I'm so glad that my parents, they actually worked for wealthy white people. Mm-hmm. They worked, but one thing they did, they introduced us to vacations. They would make sure that my parents we would go on vacations, and that has been instilled in me, and that has been instilled in me about going different places.
Yes,
opening up my horizon. I am so glad that happened, because I'm telling you, there's a beautiful world out there that you need to see and get a piece of, and just to get a piece. I feel at home when I'm in the Caribbean, though.
Yes.
I feel at home.
As you should.
I feel at home every experience, but Dominican, the DR, that was a whole total experience for me.
Okay.
A whole total experience. I mean, I've been to Bahamas and all that stuff, but when we talk about the plantation part of, the transatlantic slave and all of that, when you go to this cave, I felt something. It was just a whole cultural awakening too.
Yeah.
A whole
I
lot.
say.
Yeah. So that leads me to the next question, because we struggle as females sometimes about certain things. So, what is the one thing that we can say that has helped you achieve in your long terms, and the goals of celebration for women, from various cultures, especially the women of color?
We're gonna go back to travel. We're gonna go back to travel. And I'm gonna use that as just like a starting point, because I was blessed to have a mother who owned a travel agency. So
Oh,
before I left home to go to college at 17 years old, I had been to every continent by the time I was 17 years old. So I know I'm speaking from a place of privilege there. Most people don't have that
right,
opportunity, those
right.
opportunities, but I did. And so what it did, though, like I said earlier, to my point earlier, is it really opened me up to understanding that there's more to the world than just my little neighborhood and community, right? I got exposed to other women and to other cultures. I got to see how they behaved. I got to see what their cultural nuances were, how they moved, and fast forward to now, um, and being steeped in self knowledge, right? Self knowledge means so much more when you're exposed to other people and other cultures, because it really helped me to fine tune and appreciate my culture and who I am, and not at the expense of other cultures, right? It's because I am proud of who I am that I can appreciate and embrace who other women are and their cultures, right? Because I already know who I am. So I'm not looking for validation. I'm not looking for any criticism. I'm not looking for anything other than a true connection with other women and other sisters when I go other places. You know what I mean?
I feel you, because I connected. I connected with this one lady. Her name was Angela, and it was like they were just welcoming, like, come on in. She was like, well, what's happening? What's happening? If you want to come, and the food, I can't even say. That was just, my girlfriend was laughing at me about this red snapper. I tell you, I didn't mean to pick it up with my fingers, but I couldn't help it.
Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're on vacation, girl. Do
I
your
did the
thing.
culture thing. Hey, I picked it up. I wasn't cute. It was good. It was good with the spices. And that's the other thing, the authenticity of the spices
Yeah.
that they use. You know, just to even go to the market. God knows, I wish I could have bought some of the avocados, but you can't bring the fruit and
Right.
all that other type of stuff back. But oh my gosh, to see the fresh meat, because again, in some areas, because we were in the rural, in the
Nice.
mountains, we were in
Nice.
the mountains, they don't have refrigeration. So what we take to go to the supermarket and get, for 2 weeks, they have to go every day.
Mm-hmm.
They have
Nice.
to go every day. So that was like fresh meat. They would, the fish, all of that. So to see all of that, and then see how, as a community, they work together. Now,
Yeah.
they work together.
Yeah.
They work together. I'm amazed. So I will say this too: don't believe everything that you hear on the news, because they're saying stay away
That
from the
part.
Caribbean. I
That
will
part.
tell you, it is flowing. We had security checkpoints. Even the place that we stayed at had security that was watching us. They were watching us. And even the people that I rented the house from, they even had gave me the transportation and the different tours to take. And even from the tours, they,
Mm-hmm.
it was just fabulous. They came, picked
Mm-hmm.
us up right to the door, right
Mm-hmm.
to the door. It's amazing. I just say, women, don't be scared to travel.
Right.
Don't be
Right.
scared to travel.
So two things to your 2 points. First one is that's why other nations are healthier than we are, because we too should be having to go to the grocery store on a regular and consistent basis. If you don't have a garden in your backyard, you should have to go grocery shopping every couple of days. My mother teases me because every time she calls me, What are you doing? I'm at the store. I'm at the store. I'm at the store because I buy fresh. And fresh organic food does not last long. There's no
Right.
preservatives in it. There's no chemicals in it. So it's going to go bad. If you have anything in your refrigerator that's going to last for a year, you shouldn't be eating that. You should not be eating that. So, quick point. That's why other nations are healthier than we are, because they know that they need to eat more organically, right? And then secondly, girl, I've been all over the world by myself. All over the world. And my friends and family say, "You're not scared to go by yourself?" Absolutely not. I went to Brazil by myself, Bahia, Brazil, which I love Bahia, Brazil. And when you, to our point earlier, when you know who you are, you can go anywhere, because
Exactly.
those are my brothers and sisters in Brazil. I know that. And so I embrace them in that manner. So I'm not an outsider coming into their space. You know what I mean? So I've
Exactly.
never been scared or afraid to go anywhere. And I've gone a lot of places alone.
It, and you know what's funny? You say that, Dr. Karen. You know what's funny with that? Because our last night before we left, it was a young lady who's a pharmacist in Indiana, and we were just sitting out to the pool, getting our last pool on. We was like, let's relax by the pool with this sunset going in. And this is what she said. She said, "My mother and my aunt worry so much about me." She said, "But I'm a pharmacist over here in Indianapolis, and I'm tired." And she said, "I just looked and booked this trip on Friday, and she got there on Saturday when she was leaving on Monday." She said, "I travel all over the world by myself."
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said, and she said, "I was in Thailand for 2 weeks. I went to Bali and went to 3 different resorts by
Love it.
myself." I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
loved it. Look, I was just like fascinated. I was like, yes. I was like, yes, you go, girl. She said, I got a tour and I did what I had to do. So this is what we're saying. Women, since this is Women International Month, tonight is for you to set a goal to do something internationally.
Come on now. That's a part of your self-care plan. Let that
There
be
you
a part of your
go.
self-care plan.
We giving you the remedies. I dare you to do something internationally for
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just step on another living soil. There's something of difference.
Yep.
Go outside the box.
Yep.
Go outside the box. I'm telling you.
Outside.
Outside of the box.
Love
It will
it.
change your whole demographics. It will change your whole demographics. And to see how these sisters from other cultures are doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's amazing. We have so much, but yet we have so little.
Say that again.
We have so much, but yet we have so little. And meaning by that, when I went to Dominican up in those hills, and I see how those ladies be grinding coffee, something that we take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Something we take for granted, but this is their means of income. This is the means of doing what they're doing. And to see a sister in this cigar shop, because again, that's going to lead us to one of the other questions. We always think the cigars is a male dominated thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to see the sisters in there rolling those totes of that tobacco, to roll those cigarettes, and in this cigar factory doing the job, putting the labels on that was impressive for me too. I was like, because it made me also reflect on it. There's a sister up in here with something that's really culturally, we say it's a male dominated thing, but she in here doing the daggone thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Women run the world. Like I started off the show with, we everywhere. Even when you think it's a man running it, it's not. It's a sister.
I'm telling you, it's just we have so much, but then we have so little.
Yeah.
Because I even seen how peaceful they were. It's not a rush like here. Everything is rush, peaceful, and everything they do. Even like I said, the Laabula, as she was, that's what she called, Laabula. She was sitting back resting. Because again, her children understood that this is her rest period. She is the matriarch of this family. They went in down to the grandchildren, went to fix and prepare the meal. La Bula sat back rocking in her rocking chair.
Yeah. No, that's right.
She rocking back in her rocking chair. And then
Yes.
she got up on her rocking chair and told me to have a seat in the rocking chair. They would say, La Bula. I said, yeah, I am a grandmother, but
Yeah.
it was fun. I'm just, since it's Women International Month, I say to you women tonight, we'll say to you, do something international. Step outside the box this year.
Do that.
Put that on your self-care plan.
Mm-hmm.
So the next question, Dr. Karen, is how would you address the cultural issues that form the background for women? Because we have a lot of barriers. How would you address that?
Well, so we have to change our vantage point. My spirituality teaches me to focus on what's possible and not what's impossible. So when we talk about the limitations, it automatically creates a lack of faith, right? And so barriers, I don't do barriers. But if there are some cultural norms that are preventing some people, women in particular, from doing what they need to do, then I say we have to create subcultures, right? It's because subcultures are always created out of the larger culture, right? And those subcultures are the ones that affect change. It's the subcultures that get together, create new norms, create new habits, create new patterns, and then those subcultures begin to grow and grow and grow. And they eventually take over the larger culture and become the new norm for the culture. And so they have to connect with and identify other sisters, other women who are vibrating on the same frequency, right? They have to find their tribe. And then with that tribe, they have to use their voice. They have to stand in their power. They have to stand up for what they know, what they believe in. They have to show up for themselves, show up for their beliefs, show up for their values, so that those subcultures can be, like I said earlier, eventually become the mainstream culture.
All right. So there is a specific, and I'm putting the website up there because when we talk about women wellness, so I would say to the audience, you see this here. I want you to go do your research on my women wellness. Do your research because there is a great formation of class that's there for you, the certificate for you for women wellness. I've taken it. I've done well in it. And I'm actually going to talk to Dr. Karen about something else because I think we should have a male portion for that too. So,
Absolutely.
Male portion for that too, because again, because we're out here, women are ruling the world.
Ruling the world.
Women are formating, doing everything. We bring all the parts and the pieces. But then we have the brothers who sometimes, not all, I can't say all, but sometimes because they feel afraid in these boardrooms if she makes more money. So I'm saying like more money, she's not getting paid all the equal pay because in some mindsets it's that, oh, she can handle it. She's the mom, she's this, she's that, so with that, what can we use as to counteract that negative stereotype of the feminism of worldwide? Because we know that that's still out here too. So what can we do in some strategies that we could do? Or even if we're in those boardrooms, how would you as a person know that this is going on? As you was talking about the boardroom, bring it to the boardroom. You got to expose it to some degree. And it might make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. You have to be ready to stand in some uncomfortableness sometimes because showing up for yourself is not always easy, right? But it's right. It's the right thing to do. And so you have to be willing to be uncomfortable sometimes. And the bigger piece that a lot of people aren't really ready to do is you might have to make some sacrifices. You might have to abandon some of the places that you're in for the greater good. I think about years ago when I was working for other people, and there were a lot of injustices going on, right? And I've never been the silent type. I've always spoken up when there was something going on, something going wrong. So showing up for myself was never a problem. But being willing to take the risk to walk away was an issue for me. It took me a long time to make those choices I should have made long time ago. But you have to be willing to make those risks, because sometimes what's waiting for you on the other side of risk taking is what you need, is where you need to be, right? So you have to just be willing to make those risks and let some things go. You might have to be unemployed for a short time, but when you do what's right, the Most High is always going to align you with the next opportunity, right? Always, 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 always. I don't care what anybody says. Always is going to happen. It might take some time. You might have to be uncomfortable or unemployed or whatever for a period of time. But that's the period of time where growth happens. That's where you get the chance to sit down and reflect and think and build and be ready to reemerge, right? That's what that period is for. And those small periods of time are necessary for our next step in life, right? It's necessary. So my advice would be to show up for yourself, number one, and number two, be willing to sacrifice some things that you're very comfortable with.
That's something powerful that you said there, because I found myself doing a self-care check-in. Like I said, I felt like I was at home, but on one of those days, my last day before it was time to come home, I took a day of just soulless to reflect on it, and I was like, and that's how I feel about the whole week. Prior to that, I was like, I'm not letting nothing take away what I've obtained here. Not nothing to obtain. So some things I let go this week prior to, because I am not trying to lose what I've gained and obtained for me to keep doing this journey of and the needs of help and service. That's what I said, the help and service part. And I see how I could really serve down there. I really can see.
Oh yeah.
I really can see how I can really serve.
I think you're gonna pack up and move out there, aren't you? I can see it. I can see it.
I'm like, wow. I'm like, woo. I'm like, yeah, I can see a good move of service down there. But it's we have to make the impact. Yeah. And we just can't just stay within our own means. But there's so many women that are needed from all various cultures. There's so many dynamics to it that, once we all get this international feeling, that international feeling, that's how I felt. I felt like I was home. I was welcome. I just felt that peace, and I felt this peace. And I mean, that's like a part of my self-care thing too, because I have to change my environment to keep me doing what I'm doing. I have to just like these phases of the seasons. I have to season myself to change my environment, to replenish. And that's one of the facts that I said today. When was the last time that you let the ocean replenish you?
That water
healing. Replenishes. It's healing. The healing. It gives you good oxygen. It does a lot. So that was what my phase was today. When was the last time that you let the ocean replenish you? So
love it.
I just say to you guys, we put that challenge out there for you. So in the part of what would be your International Women's Month message would be? And you can take your time with this one. You can take your time with this because you can break this down. Okay, let's break it down into the various parts. We can say from the mind, the body, and the soul. The whole message for the International Women's Month.
Okay. Well, the message first would be that we're all sisters. I don't care what type of race constructs they've developed in society. I don't care what type of nationality, ethnicity, labels and all that they've put out there. But International Women's Day is just that we are all internationally women. We all come from different parts of the world, but we're all women. And there's a common thread amongst all of us, right? No matter what part of the country or the world you are in, we're all women, right? And the message is that in order to show up in our full femininity, we have to embrace our full femininity, which means taking care of the mind, the body, and the soul. So the first thing my message would be is that more than self-care is that we have to practice self-nurture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at HPOC, that's one of the things that we teach is, and self-care is very, very important. But self-care is a reaction, right? You're stressed out at your job, you're stressed out with your relationships, kids driving you crazy, whatever type of stresses you have in your life. And you take the time to have some self-care practices, right? You might go to the spa, you might go to the Dominican Republic, you might do whatever in order to unplug and reset. Very valuable, very, very valuable. But when you think about nurturing yourself, I always think in terms of a mother, right? A mother will nurture you, meaning she won't allow those things to even affect you. So there's not even a need for self-care, right? If you're nurturing yourself beforehand, the need to practice self-care diminishes on the back end. Does that make sense? Am I making sense here?
It makes sense.
So protect yourself from going into those spaces. Minimize the amount of stressful situations you allow yourself to go into. Minimize stressful relationships. If you're in a bad marriage or relationship or partnership or job or whatever type of negativity is causing you strain and stress, you have to get rid of it. It's not enough just to go back and treat it and, relax afterwards and do the self-care. I'm not diminishing self-care. Self-care is valuable and necessary. But let's also attach self-nurturing to that so that on the front end, we're taking care of ourselves. So it requires less on the back end. So that would be my message to all women. All women, do self-care and do self-nurturing. Practice both.
And you have heard it here tonight. So, that Karen, I love your wisdom. I love your insight. I'm sitting here for all of it. So I am so happy to be a part of the HPOC University and of the the Holistic Professionals of Association. I'm so glad to be a part of that. And if you guys are wanting to take part, again, do your research. Do your research because that's what we do. We do our research. But if you want to take part, I do want you to know that here in Maryland, we are officially a holistic professional of association here for the Eastern Shore. Not just for the Eastern Shore, but for the Maryland, all overall. Mm-hmm. So for you people out there who are people of color, are practicing any type of holistic, or you just want to be a community advocate to help in wellness overall in your community, you want to be a change agent, look us up.
Yep.
We're here for you. Join the chapter because there's some things coming up that this chapter is working on doing and being a change agent in the community.
And the biggest piece of that that she just kind of skipped over is that she is the leadership. She is the president of the Eastern Shore chapter there in Maryland. So HPOC Association is in excellent hands out there. And I know amazing things are going to happen because when you got Michelle on your team, honey, she don't play. So it's about to go down in the Eastern Shore, Maryland.
And not just, we trying to get I got some people in Baltimore, Maryland, and I've been talking to some other individuals that are in the DC, the DMV area. I'm even talking to someone in the Delaware area. That's a man who does juicing. So that's very unique. Yes. Very unique. So when I said something to him the other day and I'm like, hey, I gave you the information. What I do, look it up, do your research. If this is something that you want to be a part of, we're gonna meet about this, and we're about changing and making our community more healthier, not only just physically, but mind, body, and soul, because you can't have one without the other. So
that's right.
can't have one without the other. So, Dr. Karen, is there anything that's coming up on the behalf of HPOC? Anything going on with the university for the month of March?
Well, I want to offer a discount to your viewers for the Women's Wellness Program, because HPOC offers a Women's Wellness certification and a doula certification. So for those two programs in particular, if you watch Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast, you can use the code Michelle. Hey, you see how I did that? To get half off for the whole month of March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I keep telling folks, and this is nothing to be. And we see, you see how humble I was when you said, "Oh, I don't even mention all that stuff. Those titles and all that stuff don't even really matter to me." But it was so funny when you said that. I just sat there like, "Oh yeah, right." You know, when people ask me, you better put, when you write these biographies, they be like, "Put all this." I shorten it so much because I've done so much. It's like, if I put on, you have a whole book. Right.
You're really a servant. You're a servant leader. It's about other people. So
it's about other people.
Yeah.
And I'm just not all into that. I'm really not all into that. But when you said that about, the association, I'm taking it serious. Dr. Karen probably get tired of me because I mean, when it gives me, I tell people, when it gives me the idea, I said this, I keep saying this continuously. I don't sit on the idea because I don't believe that these come to the mind consciously. When this comes to the mind that you're supposed to say, because that gives you even enough time to sit and deactivate the plan. If he has existed inside of you, then he put that there for a reason. Why am I going to sit here and ponder on it? Because one, okay, we're gonna go a little bit of faith here.
Okay. All right, come on.
I see the word right there now, faith. Because again, faith without works is dead. So you have to activate it in order to see. And then if it ain't the right thing at the time, it might be because you pender with it too much and you didn't stick to the specific plan. So that's why I take this role seriously when we're talking about being change agents in our community, because it's crucial time for us now. I see so many good things that's happening. I see so much like holistic care, because what's get ready to come down the road, you might not be able to go to the pharmacy.
You better tell them.
I'm just being for real. It's going to be a time you can't go to the pharmacy.
So you need to connect with a holistic professional who can take you outside to the yard and say, you can eat that, you can pick that. Right. That's fine.
That's why I'm into getting to the herbs, because man, I wanted to snatch some of that herbs up. I wanted to snatch some of those herbs up, and those avocados. I don't know why they were so buttery like they were, and big, and they were so good. But I wanted to bring some of those herbs back, because I know that those herbs do something. When you have big buckets, bulk of it like that, I know it was doing something. And I've never seen hibiscus powder.
Oh, really?
I never seen hibiscus powder. And I was like, what is this? And it was the hibiscus powder.
Wow.
So just imagine.
They on the food? What do they do with it?
So actually, they use it as for your face.
Okay.
They use it for your face. Look, I'm giving away a little secret that I've learned. And see, that's another thing about me. I don't put a charge on everything because I want my people to feel better. And I'm not saying that money don't take to do things but for the hibiscus powder, it's used as a cosmetic thing for acne, to keep your face moisturized, because what they do is use that with honey and yogurt.
Okay. Okay, we got a facial mask.
And then make a facial mask. You keep it on for 15 to 20 minutes and you rinse it off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yes. So it's a lot. Because I was taking notes. I was taking
I
notes.
know you were.
I was taking notes when I was just looking at it. To turmeric, to see it just like that, the cocoa beans. And
Ooh.
I had no idea
Ooh.
where the extract from the vanilla comes right from the from the coke. I was like, what? The vanilla beans with a coffee and all that. I'm grounding the thing up, smashing it up. I'm glad I saw that because it's gonna come a time we might not be able to. So if I gotta get some cocoa beans or make some cocoa, get your vanilla to put it in there, because I'm telling you, it's gonna come to time we might not be able to have to go there. So you get your soaps, get ready. I see the plan. Now I see the plan. That's why it was a perfect timing for me to get indulged in this. A lot of people think it's crazy, but I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna have to be going. I say history repeats itself. So if they went down before the transatlantic slave came on, if they went down to them slave quarters and got them herbs and got that, but again, that I'm gonna digress on that one too. But now everything's witchcraft. But no, it's not. It's not. These are the premises of the stuff that's used from the earth to help us. There's even in the medicine world, they taking trees and plants and flowers to use that to make the drugs that they make it.
That's it. The active ingredient in most of those drugs is a
most
plant.
of it is through flowers. So it behooves us to learn these things, and maybe this is why a lot of the sickness again. And I'm gonna just navigate off what Dr. Karen teaches in one of the classes. Us, the people of color, are blood people anyway.
That's right.
So how you doing your blood?
We're blood-based people. We are metagenic people.
What's reflecting in your blood?
What's in the blood?
What's in your blood? So,
and emotionally, the blood represents boundaries, right? So you know that every thought becomes a chemical reality in the bloodstream.
Right.
And the hypothalamus produces 272 different emotions, right? Which means it produces 272 different chemicals in the body that affect our blood. I say all that to say, that was the scientific way to say, we have to check our thoughts. We have to have pure, happy, joyful thoughts, because if we don't, we're going to affect our blood with those negative thought patterns.
And with that affected, that brings on illnesses and sickness. So, so us look for that. That's something else to take on. Go get some education on that. So, I'm working on some stuff to get it to the community. We're working on some stuff with HPOC. We're gonna actually have something coming in the spring that we're gonna set up a booth just for the community for a couple of days that they have, which is Minority Health Week. So we're actually going to be doing stuff all week. Nice. That's one of the team we're going to talk about. Bag a healthy lunch. We're gonna want you to screenshot that. What do you have? What were you eating healthy that week? The next day you're going to be walking. Then we're going to end the whole day with a whole festival type thing with that. So that's what our plan is to do.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
So we're looking for sponsors for it too. We're gonna be looking for some sponsors to give out some water bottles or anything like that. But the walk, we're gonna end with that Saturday with a walk, just to get it out there. So
you are a gift to the culture, sis.
Trying to get it done. To get it done.
O'Shea.
O'Shea. So, audience, we are so happy that you are here. You're in the last month of the first quarter, right? So we done gave you a challenge, especially if you are a female. We know males, you might can innovate with this too. Get outside the box and go to something else culturally, especially if you're a female. This for self-care.
Yeah.
Just try and I know it takes money, and I know a lot of people are wrapping up with money, but let me tell you this. I don't let not having the money stop me.
That part. Come on.
Woo.
Come on now.
Because if you really think about it, you'll never have money. You're leaving here with a bill because you got to pay the funeral home person.
Right.
You're leaving with a bill. I'm just being for real. You're leaving with a bill.
Okay.
Am I right? We're leaving with a bill.
Okay.
You're leaving with a bill.
You're
Unless
leaving with the bill. You
you're
sure right
leaving with
about
a
that?
bill. You're leaving with a bill. So,
Yeah.
I just don't have the money. Hey,
And it's
if
never as expensive as people think it is.
it's never as
Yeah.
expensive as you think. That's why, okay, we're talking about togetherness as women. That's why you get yourself some like-minded individual sisters.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you, you guys seen it. Some of you who know me, you seen it. That was a 5-star Airbnb. We put our money together. Trust me, if the 8 that who had came, we would only paid $100 per person.
Mm-hmm.
And you had your plane ticket.
Yeah.
Again, I tell people, I'm gonna, one thing about Michelle, people can say you always going on time. I do that because that's my self-care for me changing for the service that I do. Now I'm gonna tell you this trip I didn't take hubby this time. Sometimes you gotta debrief and escalate from different things as well. And not to say that he won't go, but it was not necessary this time. That's another thing. You get yourself some individuals who want to have the like mind as you and explore with you. That is a beautiful thing. I'll tell you, my friend that I've known and what was so happy about this too. Both of our birthdays were this month of February, past month of February. And we have been known each other since 2nd grade.
That's beautiful.
40 some plus years.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you have to do. You have to gather some people who with the same mindset. Because I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing when we come together. And I debunk that that women can't work together. You can work together. You can work together. Let's debunk that too. You can work together with women. You can work together. You just got to get with the right pact that you work together with. So that's what we saying. So I'm just saying, grab yourself some self-care. Get yourself, put that on your do-to list before the end of the year. Try it. You might like it. Put back some of them bags. Put back some of them Gucci bags and whatever else you had. I ain't in your pockets. But that can cook for 5 other sisters. You can go in a 5-star place and stay.
That's it. I would tell people, we go out to dinner one night and I say that what you're going to pay for dinner tonight could be your plane ticket. Because they say, you're always going somewhere. I said, it's not that expensive. I'm going to spend more money tonight eating dinner with you guys than I am on my plane ticket because I'm going to buy it in advance. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's exactly literally what I'm saying. That even from the tour that we went, that for going 7 places for $70 and getting a cultured, fixed cooked meal. You went to a beach. You went horseback riding. You went to a cave, a natural cave. You went to a church basilica, which was fun to see the mask of other cultures again. Other cultures again. You went to learn the customs of how they make cigars. You went to the cocoa. You went to the cocoa, and you went to the market to see. Now, here's what it is. Now, if you're going to see people running to Dominica and get $2,500 16-inch hair, I even saw that too. So
they'll go for that, won't they?
They'll go for that. They'll go for that. They'll go for that. They will go for that. And that's just how much it was for the 16 inches, $2,500. So of Dominican hair. So I'm just saying, explore, get yourself some sisters that you can go internationally and explore other sisters.
Yeah.
So that's what we leave with you tonight. So again, if you have any questions, you can feel free to write us. If you have an idea for the show, any comments, any type of that, we're here to take you on. I'm still waiting. We've had 2 people so far this year who sent in their mantras, but hey, it is what it is. Word's gonna get out. Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul is here to stay. I'm
Hello.
just saying. We just
Claim
here
it,
to
claim
say
it.
that Dr. K is gonna be our monthly person of the month. So she might be coming back more. I don't know. I might have her do a takeover show while I'm away.
Let's do it. Don't trust me with technology. You have to teach me. It's not my
I
calling.
got you. I got you, sis. I
Okay,
got you.
okay.
I got you. But until next week, here at Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, one of the things that I do say is if you feel that you are not loved, just know that you are loved here at the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. And until next week, we will see you. Go in peace and ashe, ashe.
Ashe.